Hello everyone, this is Babamots and welcome to another Homeworlds commentary. This time I'm looking at a game between the last 19 digits of pi and Amnykon. I'll tell you a little bit about these players. So the last 19 digits of pi is the developer of the site Homeworlds Live. That's the site with the sandbox that I've reviewed games on a couple of times, including the most recent video before this one. A really impressive website, and they really did a good job on making tutorials and teaching the rules and how to use the website at the same time, and a lot of strategy. Really impressive. And they are also a very good Homeworlds player. And Amnykon, who I've talked about before, Amnykon is also very strong, is the leader in both ELO ranking and on the current arena season. Both of these players are very good. They've both beat me multiple times, and I'm very interested to see who comes out on top here because I don't know how their styles will combine. So let's see what happens. Pi is going first. Okay, picks blue yellow banker. Amnykon picks blue yellow as well, but with Goldilocks. They both build, I presume. Oh, and I'm going to be reviewing on BGA this time. Feedback I heard was that the reviews on BGA seem to be a little bit preferred over the Homeworlds Live sandbox. So I'll just use the sandbox occasionally. One player in particular was interested in seeing their games on Homeworlds Live instead, so just use that once in a while. Okay, so here we go. We get the animations and sometimes turns being undone. Okay, interesting. Pi looking at trading into yellow. Both the yellow and blue economies have been accelerated because of the small stars. But since both homeworlds have both blue and yellow, they could decide. So Amnykon could also pursue yellow, since Pi is pursuing yellow. Amnykon might not want to be left behind, but Amnykon could very reasonably go after blue instead. Try to get into the break into the mediums via the blues rather than the yellows. They'd be about even in that case as well. So it's an interesting choice here. I think yellow is the correct choice. Yellow, I think, is generally going to be more useful later on in the game, and having plenty of yellow ships is often more important than having plenty of blue ships. But the early game, I think, is usually just about getting as many ships as you can in whatever color you can and getting them as big as possible. So blue would have been fairly reasonable here. All right, here we go. What's Pi doing? Builds medium yellow. I think that's expected. Oh, okay. Here we've got a sort of a break in the symmetry. Amnykon decides to spread out their yellows. I mean, one of the yellows being the star, of course, rather than immediately building the medium yellow that they had available. That's not the choice I would have made, but we'll see where this goes. Okay, Pi now diversifying into the blues. Now, this is basically the main reason that I wouldn't have moved my little yellow out just yet. Amnykon passed up an opportunity to build a medium yellow, and Pi has now plugged up the yellows with a small piece again. So Amnykon can build a small yellow now, but then they'll give Pi another opportunity to build medium. So I think Amnykon missed out a little bit there. Okay. Reverting to greens. Pi, yep. Pi pushes the blues, pushes deeper into the blues. Amnykon is now in a lot of danger of getting left behind. See if they come up with a way to recover from this. I think even though Amnykon would be opening up an opportunity for Pi to get larger yellows, I think Amnykon needs to push into the yellows instead of the greens. I don't think they should push on with the greens because there's two more small greens to get through. And by the time Amnykon eats through those, Pie's going to be building up all the mediums and medium blues and maybe even close to the larges. Okay, Amnykon's sticking with the green. I think this is dangerous. Yeah, okay. Pie spreads out the blues, and we'll be able to build a medium next turn. Amnykon trades for red. Okay. Pie will need to get red eventually to answer that, but Amnykon isn't really creating a threat just yet. If I'm Pie, I'm just continuing to happily build blues. Yep. Let's see what Amnykon gets now. Maybe hoping to build up enough reds to compensate for the lack of mediums, but I don't think Pie is going to have any trouble catching up there. I think Pie trading medium blue for medium red would be pretty good here, or just continuing to build blue. Yep, trade for the red. And Amnykon still has to build another small red before red gives them access to the mediums. And by then, of course Pie is perfectly happy to build a medium before Amnykon does in the reds as well. Let's see, if I'm Pie, I'm building medium blue again. Yep. Amnykon, I think they've got a... Amnykon has a little bit of a red advantage here, in that they've got two red ships and they're spread out, even though they're not as big. Having more ships and having them more spread out is advantageous when you're trying to build up more of that color, since having them spread out is and having more of them gives you more places you can build before overpopulation becomes a risk. So I think Amnykon should stay the course with reds. Yep, building another red. And if I'm Amnykon, I'm building... I think I'm building a medium red. Blue would also be okay. Actually, blue might even be better, since if Pie can get a complete blue shutout, that's really, really strong. And Amnykon is going to be in a position to build a medium red and then trade for medium blue soon. So Pie might want to push on with the blues. Oh, interesting. Sacrificing a yellow. Well, so they're at least thinking about invading Vogsphere and then pushing out to another system here. I don't know how I feel about that. They'll be able to capture... Pie will be able to capture any of these ships that don't run away here in Vogsphere, but I don't know that it's worth sacrificing the medium red, especially if Amnykon evacuates one of these ships. In fact, Amnykon, of course, can just sacrifice the small yellow to run the little red away. So I don't like that move too much from Pie. Let's see if they commit to it. Yep, they do. All right. Well, let's see what Amnykon does. I think I would sacrifice my little yellow to move away the little red. Or build medium red here at home. No, I think they should evacuate Vogsphere. Just running away the red? Okay. That'd be my second choice, I think. No, they changed their mind. They're sacrificing. I think either of those is really pretty reasonable, since to capture that little yellow, Pie would be sacrificing their only red. So now, in retrospect, I think I actually like just moving away the little red rather than the sacrifice. But they went with the sacrifice. That's okay too. We'll see what comes of it. All right, if I'm Pie, I'm pushing my blue advantage some more and then trading back into yellow. Yeah, pushing the blue. I'm Amnykon, I think I'm pushing ahead with the reds and hoping to get a blue before too long. Well, no, and it's going to be too late for that. Amnykon may never have a blue. I don't think it's going to work out. Okay. Amnykon spreading out the reds. Okay, setting up for a shopping spree. This is pretty good. If Amnykon sticks with this and then sacrifices their large green, they'll be able to build 2 medium reds and a large red in 3 different systems, so overpopulation isn't even a risk. And they'll still have a large in their home, and they'll have some mediums that they would need to move those mediums somewhere to trade them to get into blue, and by then the blues will be gone. But shopping sprees are always nice anyway. I'm Pi. I'm building another blue. I might even put it in Vogsphere, since even though that's 3, there's no danger of overpopulation. Oh, okay. They're looking at trading for yellow, and they commit to it. Yeah, I like that too. Building and then trading the mediums is really valuable, especially when your opponent can't get into that color and can't get mediums of their own. I think Pi is far ahead now for sure. But if I would have strongly considered pushing ahead and really trying to completely close out the blue economy, and then I could be doing this with larges instead of mediums. Build a large blue, trade it for another color, build a large blue. All right, but here we are. Amnykon's turn. Time for a shopping spree, I think. No, just building a single red. Let's see if they commit to that. They do. That's all right. But I like the shopping spree better, since you would end up with more mediums, including you would get more medium ships, and you'd have a large red, and then yeah. I like the shopping spree better. Okay, but they didn't. Here comes Pi. Let's see. Pi, keep building blue. Yep, that's good. Amnykon could shopping spree now as well. In fact, if they do it now, then they'll get 2 larges back, which is even better. No, they're getting into the yellow. I don't know if this is the time. I guess there's no bad time to get more yellow, because yellow is very good, but I think Amnykon's material disadvantage is the bigger problem right now. Pi isn't exactly poised to take all of the yellow in the world, so I think Amnykon could hold off on getting yellow for a little while. I think the shopping spree would have been better, but let's see if they commit to that. No, they undid it. Okay, let's see if they take the shopping spree. No? Spreading out their greens. No, I would definitely want to keep this green at home, so that when I do my shopping spree, I still have a green at home. I don't like this too much. It's also taking a yellow out of the bank when Pi has the yellow advantage, and there's some danger of Pi walking off with most of the yellow, which is super dangerous. So I don't think Amnykon should do that. Okay, they stuck with it. All right, well, we'll see how that pans out. Pi. If I'm Pi, I'm building blue again. I think I might have put it in Vogsphere, since it's in the more aggressive. That's the more aggressive position here. But by putting the medium in Ire, they'll get to build a large blue in Vogsphere instead, which is even more aggressive. So maybe that's the better move. Okay, Amnykon. I think they should still do their shopping spree, even though it's late. Well, I think Amnykon is probably holding off on the shopping spree just because if they sacrifice the G3, they'll get 2 large reds, and and Pi will also get to build a large red. They may feel like they're giving that opportunity away. But it's a pretty even. They would be building approximately the same amount. Amnykon would be getting another medium ship out of it, and Amnykon needs to do some catching up in material and in diversity. Let's see what they do now. Okay, so they're all right. So this may have been what they were thinking 2 turns ago, moving out the green. Their Amnykon has an investment here where they're taking a large red out of the bank, discovering it as a star. So if Pi doesn't respond to this, Amnykon can do a shopping spree and then sacrifice the little green to build yet another large red. I don't think Pi will stand for that. I'm pretty sure they will move one of these mediums into Cardassia to prevent the investment from paying off. But Amnykon has at least taken that large red out of the bank, so that if Amnykon does a shopping spree now, there won't be a large red available for Pi to build. So that's pretty good. All right, I take back some of my complaints about Amnykon spreading out their greens before. All right, if I'm Pi, I'm building a large blue in Vogue Sphere, knowing that the Cardassia investment won't pay off just yet. If Amnykon does do the shopping spree, then I'm moving one of my ships from Vogue Sphere into Cardassia. For now, just building a large. Yep. And Amnykon, pretty sure this is shopping spree time. No? Oh my goodness, I question the wisdom. Not what I would do, but just building the green. The advantage of building a green now is that if Amnykon then now, on their next turn, does a shopping spree, they will still have a green in their home, which is always nice. But I think the shopping spree is pretty urgent. Pi now, yeah, just go ahead and build that last big blue. They're in Vogue Sphere, I think. Oh, okay. No. They're right. I think this is probably better. They're trading that for a red. So this is like what I was saying before. They can now build large, blue, trade for another color, and repeat. And by trading now, Amnykon can no longer do a shopping spree that nets them an additional large ship. So the shopping spree is not such a good option anymore. Yep, okay. And that's why Pi is playing this game and not me. That was a good move. That is the better move. It also makes it so that Pi is not limited to just having one red ship. If Amnykon at any point had invaded Pi's home, Pi would have been forced to sacrifice the only red ship they have, and they would have been left without red. So Pi is wise to get into the red, and I think Amnykon has now missed their chance to catch up. The shopping spree's too late. Amnykon's in big trouble, I think. All right. Okay, not the shopping spree I was looking for, but an ordinary factory, sacrificing the G3 to build twice. So that is something that Amnykon has as a factory, and Pi has missed out on the opportunity to get a second green that would allow them to have a factory of their own. Now with 3, let's see if Amnykon commits to this first. Yeah, okay. So with 3 greens poised outside of Pi's home, if Amnykon now had a large yellow, we'd have a sort of bluebird situation where Amnykon could win by fleet catastrophe, but by the time Amnykon gets a yellow, Pi can reinforce, and I don't think Pi's actually in a lot of danger here. I think Pi is still winning hands down. Big material advantage. Yep, building big blue. Amnykon, I think, should do a factory build to to get these other two red ships. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, that is interesting. That's not bad. I was saying before that if they had a large yellow, they'd be threatening a fleet catastrophe in Pi's home. Pi now can't build this lovely large green that they would like to because they'd be in even more danger of a fleet catastrophe. And they've got to do something about all these greens poised outside their home. So I think Pi has got to just reinforce with anything. Move the little blue back into their home, and they should be just fine. They could move any ship they have back home, but if they sacrifice the medium yellow, they could move a large blue or large red back if Pi's nervous about not having a large at home. Let's see. Oh, they actually do. They sacrifice the medium yellow to move a large red all the way back home. Interesting. Okay. Yep, and they commit to it. Amnykon now, of course, could still catastrophe this large green, but it would be pretty bad for them because they'd be throwing away a lot of ships. But Amnykon can now rebuild that large green back at their home. Oh, really? Fascinating. Oh, okay. Well, they were considering sacrificing the large yellow and moving. They started by moving in a red. I have no idea where that would go. Maybe they miscalculated or misclicked. All right, let's see. So sacrificing the green 2 to build 2 reds. Interesting. I don't think I like that as well as just building the large green. Well, cleaning out the reds does prevent Pi from getting those reds. So maybe this is better. Okay. Well, Amnykon has caught up in a big way that I did not expect. They're still down by a large ship, but they do have yellow, which is something that Pi is completely out of. Interesting. All right, let's see if they commit to that. They do. All right, so the reds are all cleaned up. Pi only has 2 red ships, but they still have a blue monopoly. I think if I'm Pi, I build the large blue. Yeah. And committed. Okay, if I'm Amnykon here, oh, glory. I think Amnykon needs yellow. If I'm Amnykon, I build a yellow, I think. Or I push my large yellow forward to try to threaten Ire. If Amnykon moves the large yellow to Tatooine, they could move it to Ire. And hopefully capture some of these ships. Of course, I think Pi is just going to move one of their larges to Ire to reinforce. But we'll see. Yeah, okay, so Amnykon pushes the yellow forward. Interesting. Oh, very interesting. Okay, this is cool. So, by discovering a medium green star, they've opened up the large green for building. I could build that, but then Amnykon could sacrifice the large to catastrophe both of those large greens, and I guess this doesn't quite work out, does it? And then move in a red, trying to get a fleet catastrophe. I don't think that quite works out for Amnykon, but I could be wrong, and Amnykon might be thinking that would work out and even come to a victory if Pi builds that large green. I don't think it works out, but could be wrong. Okay, well, they changed their mind anyway. But I think that was a very interesting move. And if I weren't trying to analyze everything on the fly here, I would love to sit down and see if that turns out. Okay, so they're reinforcing Tatooine. I think that's pretty good. It's nice to have a large defender at all of your colonies. Okay, let's see what Pi gets up to now. If I'm Pi, I'm a little worried about the lack of yellow. I think I'm trading one of my medium blues for yellow. That doesn't even open up an opportunity for Amnykon to trade for blue, because Amnykon only has access to blue in their home where they have a blue star and they don't have a medium ship there. So one of these mediums for yellow is my play, I think. Okay, yeah, they pick it in Ire. And they commit to it, yes. If I'm Amnykon... Oh, golly, I could just build a green in Cardassia. That creates some pressure on this large green in Pi's home. Possibly opening up a large green to build in Amnykon's home. Pi might not want to build the large green at their home. I don't know if there's enough pressure there for the win. That's like what I was talking about before. Amnykon, okay, yeah. This is what I was suggesting before. Yeah, I think I like this a lot. Ire is a heavily populated colony without a large defender. I think threatening it is pretty good. Pi, and this might have even been part of why Pi wanted to have a yellow there. Pi may have traded for a yellow in part so that they could overpopulate the large yellow if it came in, which it just did. So Pi might they might even sacrifice their large green to build yellow here a couple of times to defend that colony, though that would leave them with only a red at home, and there's some danger of overpopulation. I don't think that quite turns into a loss, but yeah. So I think it's a good move from Amnykon. No, they changed their mind. They took it back. Just building a small yellow. Interesting. Okay, let's see if they commit to that. They do. I liked the invasion. I think the invasion turns out okay for Amnykon. But maybe they saw something I didn't. Let's see what Pi picks now. I think I would very likely trade another blue for yellow, or maybe build another medium blue here in Ire, but I don't think so. I think I would trade for more yellow. Don't get left behind. Oh, building the yellow. Okay. See if they commit to that. They do. Ire is now safer than it was before from the invasion by the large yellow, since overpopulating would only require building one more. So okay, maybe that is better than trading. And let's see what Amnykon picks. Okay, they invade the colony in Polis. But that little blue can just run away. That doesn't seem like a big deal. But it does spread out Amnykon's reds some more, puts them in a more aggressive position. I guess that's okay. Alright, Pi probably just runs away. Oh, runs it back home. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with keeping some extra blue in your home when you've got a monopoly. Alright, Amnykon, what have you got? I think maybe they should spread out their yellows so that they can build another one. It would be really nice for Amnykon to have a medium yellow. Because sacrificing a medium yellow for some of these potential overpopulations that they're trying to set up here at Pi's home is not such a big deal as when they have to sacrifice their large yellow to achieve it. Alright, Amnykon now sacrificing a little green. They're looking at a green teleport back home. I guess that's alright. They could be worried. I liked it forward, though, for the pressure, I think. But they might be worried that Pi is going to move one of their, maybe their large red into Cardassia and start capturing their ships, and they only won't have one there now. Okay, well, let's see where that gets us. Yep, they commit to it. If I'm Pi, I think I build that blue. Oh, they build it at home. That's all right too. Sure, why not? Amnykon now. Yeah, I still want to spread out those yellows so that I can set up to build the medium yellow if it's available. Okay, let's see. Amnykon sacrifices the G. Oh, no, oh, jeez. Yep, that's totally right. Okay, Amnykon sacrifices. They finally get that that investment in Cardassia to pay off, sacrificing the little green to build a large red. Yeah, okay. Amnykon has just almost caught up in material. Not quite. They still behind by one. Still behind by one large ship, but better off than they were a moment ago. Okay, yep, definitely the right move. All right, let's see how Pi responds. Sacrificing medium yellow. Ooh, I wonder if they're going to start an invasion of Amnykon's home. No? Interesting. Okay, well, so they invade the colony in Tryon and reinforce Ire with a large. Yeah, okay, I think that was probably necessary. Since Amnykon now has a large red that they could have invaded Ire with, they Pi wanted to reinforce, and by going on the offense at the same time, it would be very expensive for Amnykon to save both of these reds. They'd have to sacrifice their large yellow, so I think they're just going to move one of these reds away, and Pi can decide whether to capture the other. Yeah, pretty good move, although it does put Pi behind in the yellows again. If I'm Amnykon, I'm saving the medium red, I think. Yeah, by moving it to a yellow star, it can run away if Pi decides to invade again. Now, Pi, I always think this is a very interesting choice. Do you sacrifice a medium red to capture a small red? I think it's worth it pretty often. Although maybe not right now, since Amnykon will get to build that medium red at home if he wants. Okay, so Pi is looking at just pushing their medium red forward. I think that's all right, spreading those out. It's in a more aggressive position. Yeah, not sure what else to say about that. Okay, if I'm Amnykon, I still want to spread out these yellows. It's going to happen sometime, probably. Or they might want to spread out the greens, so that if Pi starts building green, Amnykon gets a piece of the pie, so to speak. Oh, okay. Well, maybe the Amnykon may have been nervous that. Oh, that was from Tryon. Somehow I thought that was from the unoccupied colony in Paulus. Okay, so they retreated with their small red to yet another medium yellow colony. Okay, interesting. Boy, this is a pretty tight game. I'm enjoying this. That does take the last medium yellow out of the bank, and I think it would have been nice for Amnykon to get to build that medium yellow. I think it would probably have been worth losing that small red to get to build more yellow, especially since Pi would have had to have sacrificed his medium red to capture it. Okay, yeah, they took it back. Yeah, I didn't like that move very much. No? They're looking at it again? and they stick with it. Mm. No, I don't. I don't like it too much, but that's what they wanted. Mm. That's good. That's a good move. That's a very good move. Um, Pi trading their large blue for a large green. Okay, so that's another reason that I did not think of before. I think it was unwise for Amnykon to abandon Tryon. Is by trading for green, Pi now has a lovely investment where they can sacrifice this large green to build the large yellow and rebuild the large blue that they just traded away. And they've got a spare green. They've got a spare build, so they could build a large green here in their home if they feel like it. Yes, very good move from Pi. Um, Amnykon, let's see what they come up with. Spreading out the greens. Yeah, I guess that's something. If I were Amnykon here, I would try to clog up this investment. I would just move anything into Tryon to make it so that it takes Pi several extra turns to cash in on that investment. If I, I would probably move this little red right back where it came from into Tryon, because then to clear up this investment and for Pi to actually get to build that large yellow, he has to sacrifice a red to capture Amnykon's ship and then move that ship away and then cash in. And Amnykon can do something with that extra time, so that blocks the investment pretty well. Um, let's see, what was the thing they just did? They just moved a G1 from their home to Char. I don't like that very much. Char is vulnerable. Pi could just, for that matter, they could just move this large green into Char, threatening to capture things at the same time that they're freeing up the large yellow, which either Amnykon builds and then gets overpopulated because of this little yellow, or Pi is left to build for himself. Yeah, I don't like this move. When you're behind in material, you shouldn't pair up your ships any more than you have to. Okay. Yeah, I think Pi should invade, maybe with the green, or just build the large blue. Pi is in a very good position still. I think Amnykon gave up some ground. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah. The invasion would have been fine, but there's still nothing wrong with the with using the investment. Okay, they build the large yellow and their blue and the green, just like I was saying. Okay. All right, Amnykon is in pretty big trouble. It's a relatively good time to build a medium green, since if Pi takes the large, Amnykon can, it costs him a large as well, but can sacrifice the large yellow to catastrophe the greens there. Yeah, I think I'd build a medium green. Yep. But I think he should have done it at home, because Char is still vulnerable to invasion in 3 different ways. Pi has no shortage of large ships that could go into Char. And yeah, if I'm Pi, I am moving. I might build that large green, accepting that I'll get overpopulated, because Pi has the advantage in material, and they can afford to lose these ships more than Amnykon can afford to lose their large yellow, I think. But invading Char is also, I think, a very good move. Yeah, here's the invasion. And if I'm Amnykon, oh boy, do I build the large green? I either build the large green, fleeing is a possibility. They could run away. Probably they're red, since Pi, I think maybe their biggest vulnerability is being a little short on red. Um, and if Pi has to sacrifice their medium red to capture these greens, then Amnykon gets ahead on red more. Yeah, flee with the red or build the larger green at home. Those are my top picks. Let's see what Amnykon's thinking. Oh, sacrificing the large green. Do they see something? Oh, interesting. Invading Ire with greens. That's threatening. Okay, they can supernova Ire, taking all of this out. If, well, I mean, I'm sure Pi will respond in some way. Interesting. Let's see if they stick with that. I think that was a big investment, and that doesn't feel like something that's going to turn out to be worth it. I think it's too easy for Pi to get too many of his ships out. Okay, Amnykon changed their mind. Just fleeing with a green. I guess that's all right. If Pi built the large green at home, then Amnykon could catastrophe. And it keeps the green from getting captured. But I still like fleeing with the red better, because you don't want to let your opponent sacrifice red and just capture your own red somewhere else. They're breaking even, not even if your opponent sacrifices red and captures red, then they're not losing any diversity. And I think that's not a good choice. No, I don't like that too much. Okay, if I'm Pi, I am... I guess the disadvantage for Pi to capturing these guys in char is that Amnykon can build the large green. So Amnykon or Pi might want to block the large green build instead, maybe moving, say, their medium blue to the large greens to discover a large green star. No, that leaves it vulnerable to invasion by one of these guys in Tatooine. I think maybe, yeah, stick with the capture. Is that what they're doing? Yep. Pi likes the capture. I think that's pretty good. Amnykon catches up in enlarges a little. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Good on Amnykon for making some more progress. It's now 4 larges to 5, which is really quite manageable, especially since they're even on yellow. Both homeworlds are yellow. Both homeworlds have a yellow star, that is, and neither player has enough yellow to catastrophe the other player's star. So this could be stalemate-ish. We'll see. If anything, so this is the kind of situation where direct assaults on colonies start to seem like the only way to make progress. I don't know, though. I don't know. Jeez. This is exciting. Pi now, I think, is going to build that medium red back. Oh, interesting. We're doing it with a sacrifice? Oh, I wonder why that is. I guess they didn't like... Yeah, so I guess Pi must not have liked that they had 2 greens at home that could be overpopulated. Yeah, if Amnykon had pushed forward one of their larges, then there would have been a really big threat that Amnykon could sacrifice their large yellow, move in 2 greens for the catastrophe, and move in their large red, and be in a winning position. So I think Pi was trying to avoid that. All right, Amnykon happily builds that additional green. And now the bank is empty, and somebody's got to find something to do other than build. the piece. It's like however 160 moves in, and we've got all the pieces on the board, as though it took this long to set up the chess game. All right, so now for some maneuvering. Oh, starting off with a big play here. Pie sacrificing large green, large yellow. I don't know about this. Oh, of course. Yeah, okay, so um, the same type of power play I was musing about for Amnykon, Pi already had set up. Yep, that's it. So Amnykon now has no larges in their home. Amnykon has a large in Pi has a large in Amnykon's home, and there is absolutely nothing that Amnykon can do about this. They can try to reinforce, but Pi's just going to capture everything. Ah, jeez. And, yep. Oops. I did not notice that coming. Boy, there's a lot of things you have to watch out for. And that was a very exciting game. I hope you enjoyed it too. And I don't think I've got any announcements, so thank you for watching. Bye-bye.